We have crossed halfway around the world to the island of Borneo. Borneo is one of the world's most isolated and remote areas, and today it still remains largely undeveloped. Indonesia's province, Kalimantan, occupies the largest portion of the island of Borneo, with Malaysia to its north. The geographical and logistical barriers of Borneo are forbidding. Dense rainforests, impenetrable mountains, arduous terrain, and the absence of roads leave villages isolated. Access is not only limited to the gospel, but also to life-sustaining services such as health clinics and education. It was because of environments like this that Mission Aviation was created.
Being a missionary pilot it's an amazing opportunity to minister, because the work we do at the airplane touches people's lives at a number of different levels. It's a Cessna 206, and it is the workhorse of the MEF fleet. MEF has, I think, 40 or 50 of these airplanes worldwide. It can seat 6 people. One of the modifications that MEF does with the planes, they install a cargo pod. We put about 300 pounds of cargo down there, which is nice because if the plane's full up top, we can just shove stuff down there. And we'll put whatever we can fit through the door into that cargo pod. So we've had pigs in there, or dogs, or ducks, or whatever you do in there.
Anytime I fly with David, I have a renewed appreciation for what he does and for the challenges he faces every day. You know, I think of it as, oh, he just gets in the airplane and he flies off and comes home. And the pilots, they're safe, but they really put themselves out there flying over the jungle every day.
MAF goes to great lengths to make sure that we have very good engines, new engines, so we rarely have any engine problems. But when something like that happens, where you have one cylinder that starts to hiccup, I tell you what, it gets the pilot's attention pretty quick.
My husband flies into villages that couldn't be reached otherwise, except for maybe a long boat ride on a treacherous river, or maybe an even longer walk through a very dangerous jungle.
The need in Indonesia is huge because it's vast areas of jungle, and transportation is extremely difficult. So we're serving the national church here. Without Mission Aviation, they'd be essentially cut off from the outside world.
Option set, check was complete.
I think that being the wife of a missionary pilot is exciting because my husband gets to go out and do what he loves, and that he just gets energized by helping people. And so when I see him come home, he's exhausted, but for me it's really, really exciting for me to see him just really content with where God has him.
The reason we chose to come and serve people here, or to serve people at all, is based out of the biblical principle that we are blessed so that we can be a blessing.
I know Paul really enjoys spending time interior and just being encouragement to people, hanging out with people and just getting to know them on a personal level, and just to encourage other fellow believers around the world.
Bye.
90% of the airstrips that we go into out here are well above, you know, the average airstrip that you would go into in America. Yeah, there's some really pretty extreme airstrips out here. You know, they're short, they're flat, some that go up hills. We got some that go up to 23%. Some are dirt, some are grass. All of them have pretty much unusual approaches into them.
You get to airstrips like these, you never actually really want to get comfortable with the airstrip because they can always bite you if you get lazy.
Today is a significant day for Chris Jardin because it's his first opportunity to fly solo interior, and it represents how many years of preparation?
Around 10.
About 10 years of preparation leads up to this moment right here, where he gets to fly interior without somebody else riding along with him. So it's really significant, and it's a great accomplishment. So, in keeping with our local tradition here, we're going to give him some captain's bars. Craig, you want to pin him on him since you were his checkout pilot there?
It's exciting. I woke up excited this morning.
Congratulations.
Well, I think one of the neatest things I can say about missions today is it's different perhaps than most young people imagine or stereotype. And just because you're not a preacher or a teacher doesn't mean there's not a spot around the world for you. You could be a pilot, a mechanic, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher. You could be a whole lot of different things, and there's a spot for you.
Working here, doing what I'm doing, it counts for something. I'm not just working for myself. You know, I'm here to help the people of Kalimantan in the name of Jesus, and I think that's something that's very valuable in ministry.
When you hear people who've been helped by the airplane, like brought out by for medical emergencies, and knowing that without the plane there would be no way for them to get adequate medical care, all of that just helps us know that what we're doing is important.
You can see our planes are getting ready to depart and head interior this morning. What a lot of folks don't see is there's a lot of work that goes into even our planes being able to fly in the first place. So there's a lot of maintenance work that has to be done.
On a lot of our airstrips that have gravel or stones on, you can pick up a little stone and nick the propeller, and then we'll just file it out.
And checking the fuel, if there's dirt or water in the tank.
We have a written checklist here with emergency pages and regular pages, so everything that's critical that we do in the airplane is going to be written down somewhere.
Hey, welcome, Chris. Hey, thanks. I pop X-ray ready for departure at 1.
Every village we go to has multiple people in that are alive today because of MAF flying them out. I can't say for sure how long it would take to do this trip the old-fashioned way, but I know a 1 hour flight, 1.5 hour flight, it would take like a month and a half to 2 months to do that by land, by boat, and walking. It only takes one person in a village like that to make a testimony and have the respect to be able to share with them why we're here.
That was my first landing on a grass strip solo out here in Indonesia, and there's a bunch of rice fields right in the end, so if you short it, you buy the farm. So I was a little nervous, but not too bad actually.
It's an amazing opportunity because our work gives us access to living in a country that is difficult for some people who are seeking to minister here. It's overwhelming when you look around the city and you look at all the needs that exist where we live. You see children like this, all the opportunities we have to minister, and you realize there are no other missionaries living within 300 miles of our city except our MAF team here in Tarakan.
Being a part of the team, the MAF team here in Kalimantan, is one of the greatest benefits, I think, to our life here.
Did you see it?
We've got a young team. Most people here are in either their first or second term. So we have a lot of energy. There's a lot of good camaraderie. Everybody's still full of energy and they're really eager to help.
Those are our friends, those are our co-workers, those are those that we worship with. I love this team. I can't say enough good things about them.
The interaction we have as a team is really important because it just meets a social need, meets a spiritual need as well, having strong fellowship with each other.